moving on to the company analysis. So if we see the portfolio of Zee, it is very rich. It has presence over 169 countries with 670 million plus users. Content-wise, it is one of the best in the industry with over 120K hours of TV content, 3,500 plus movie channels. And in terms of channels, there are 32 domestic and 29 international channels. It is present across various genres, be it Hindi GEC, regional, movie, English. In all these genres, either Zee is number one or strong contender for number one. So in a nutshell, you can say that Zee is a very good for viewers, but not for investors. In terms of revenue sources, there are three major revenue sources: advertisement, domestic subscription, and international subscription. Advertisement is the bulk of the revenue share with 53%. Domestic subscription is 31%, while the international is 12%. We will see that domestic subscription is where there will be growth in the near future. Next, for industry overview.
Now coming towards the industry overview, first of all, we would like to see how much lucrative is this industry. We'll see the projections for this industry. If we see this industry, it is growing at a very good rate. It has shown a growth rate of 12.6% in the past 5 years, and it is expected to grow at a rate of 15.2% in the coming 5 years. And in this industry, we see that TV is the major, which is the best horse in this industry. It is expected to grow at a rate of 18% in the next couple of 5 years. If we look at the major trends in this industry, digitization would be the first one. In the digitization, we see that it was expected to complete in 4 phases. Phase 1 would be the 4 metros and expected to complete by October 2012. Similarly, the other phases. We believe that Zee Entertainment is the primary beneficiary of this digitization wave. But if we look at the status of all these phases, we see that phase 1 and phase 2, although their deadline is complete, but still they are in progress. Because of various reasons, UP and West Bengal government, they have asked for extensions. And we believe that phase 3 and phase 4 will also be delayed due to the lack of infrastructure, lack of investment, and lack of stringent policy norms. So we believe that this is promising, but still it will not be implemented in the near future. If we look at the other trends, the other trend would be the tri-ad cap enforcement, due to which the advertisement prices have already been raised by 30%. And if we look at the ARPU rate in India, it is one of the lowest in the world. If we see the graph here, we see that ARPU rates have not been changed in the past 5 years. It is stuck to the rate of $3 to $4 per month. If we look at the comparative analysis as per the segment, if we see the Hindi GEC segment, we see that Zee is continuously improving its performance, and it is moving towards the second position in the past couple of years. If we look at the sports segment, Zee is incurring huge losses. It is trying to reduce those losses, but still it is in red in the sports segment. If we look at the regional GEC, Zee already has an edge over most of its competitors due to its huge portfolio in regional languages like Zee Bangla, Zee Marathi. If we compare the financials of Zee with its peers, we see that Zee has performed decently, but it has got a neck-to-neck competition with the peers like DBCL. We see that Sun TV is the major player in this industry, which has overpowered all its peers. If we see Zee Entertainment from the corporate governance point of view, based on our evaluation, we gave Zee the highest rating out for the corporate governance policies. We gave Zee 83 points out of 100, and the other players like TV18 and Sun TV, they were laggards in this. Now coming toward the financial analysis,
we see that the domestic subscription revenue is expected to grow and become 2.5 times of the current value by financial year 17. This is a major driver for growth. Foreign subscription we expect to grow at 5% only. Advertisement revenue, which constitutes a chunk of current revenue, will grow at a good pace. We see that the EBITDA and net profit margin are expected to grow and become better by financial year 17. Again, we did DuPont analysis and we found that while the asset turnover and equity multiplier are decreasing, we found that net profit margin is improving. Also, return on equity is going to be strong by financial 17. Again, we looked at different ratios and we found that return on equity and return on asset are expected to become grow from 18% as of current to 22% by financial 17. We expect the cash flows for the company to be strong, and we believe that the company will perform strongly in the near future. We tried to value company and we took some assumptions. For that, we took WACC, and then we found that the equity risk premium for the Indian market should be 7.85. We calculated stock beta to be 0.73, and the risk-free rate was found to be 8.74%. This gave cost of equity to be 14.47%, which was same as WACC, because Z is a debt-free company, almost debt-free. Z is expected to grow at a pace of 20 to 21% in free cash flows till financial year 22. After that, the growth will moderate at to 15% till financial year 30. Beyond that, we expect Z to grow at long-term economic growth rate, which is 5%.
Coming on to valuation, we have used three valuation methods, being the discounted free cash flow method, the residual value method, and the multiple valuation method. Coming to the discounted free cash flow method, we have projected the P&L statements and the balance sheet for the next 4 years for Z, and calculated the operating free cash flows as well as non-operating free cash flows for the company. What we post to 2017 till 2030, we have projected the free cash flows to grow at a high growth rate, as explained earlier, and post that there would be a terminal growth rate with which the free cash flows would be growing. So this gave us the value of equity to be 21,719 crore for Z Entertainment, which gave a value per share of 242 rupees and 75 paise. We did the sensitivity analysis in which we changed the value of the terminal growth rate as well as the WACC, which gave us a value of value range of 220 rupees to 275 rupees in this sensitivity analysis. Moving on to residual value method, we calculated the residual value method by reducing the equity cost from the net income for the next 4 years as projected, and then again growing at the long-term growth rates as well as terminal growth. We got a total value of residual income to be 16,760 crore rupees, which we added back to the book value of equity of 3,911 crores, which gave us a company valuation of 20,672 crores, giving a value per share of 231 rupees. Coming on the sensitivity analysis, it gave us a range of 208 to 263 rupees for the company. The third valuation method, which is the multiple valuation method, due to lack of comparable firms in this industry, we calculated the trailing 12 months PE and PBV for the company, taking the average of the last three quarters and terminal trailing 12 months PE. We got an average PE multiple of 27.67, which we multiplied with the 2014 expected EPS of 8.41, giving us a value of 232 rupees and 65 paise. Similarly, in the PBV, our multiple was 5.14. Our BVPS expected is 46.98, giving us a value of 241 rupees and 45 paise. Including both of them giving 75% weightage to the PE and 25% weightage to the PBV, we got a target price of 234 rupees and 85 paise. Putting all these three valuation methods, we got a value of 236 rupees and 50 paise, giving 40% weightage each to discounted cash flow and residual income and 20% to multiple valuation. We arrived at a value of 236.50, which are subject to some of the risks as explained by my colleague.
We have identified 6 key strategic risks associated with our valuation. An unexpected increase in digitization rate would increase the subscription revenue, and it would put a northern trend to our forecast, price forecast. As more and more households go for multiple connections, it would increase our subscription revenue. And advertising revenue forms a major bulk of Z's revenue, and any increase in ad rates would further increase our target price. The other strategic risks are increase in international subscription, increase in ARPU, and increase in GRP of ZTV. The other risks are macro risk, regulatory risk, and valuation risk. We have found that advertising revenues are highly correlated with business cycle.